Good afternoon and welcome back to, sorry, I almost forgot to turn on my lights. Welcome back to Mythgard and Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who's hiding. No, he's in stealth mode. Oh no, wait, he's standing in the middle of the street in Oserley. That's where he is, right? But you can't tell. Sorry, yeah, I lost him in the underbrush there. I don't know why all of our attention was called in Aldburg to what poor repair everything was in, and yet, like, the middle of the town square here is this untracked wilderness, and nobody seems to even notice with these, like, many-year, whatever. It's just the way they roll here in Austerly, apparently. And it's true, Hologra, I know that a common issue for hobbits would be getting lost in the grass and bushes, but not in the middle of the road, usually. I mean, that's the thing. That's a little bit unusual here. So, okay, so I'm trying to figure out now. As I recall, we just finished Oserley stuff. And I'm debating now, do I need to head over to Torsbury? Or should I head back to Stoke? And because I've got the epic quest to return to Stoke and return that torn map of Stoke to Reeve. But I'm thinking I should go to Torsbury first, because she sent me to Austerly and Torsbury. And probably this next step will kick things on a little bit further to move on past. So, Stoke first, you think, Hologra? Okay, that's not what I would have expected, but you know, I don't know. So, she's going to give us a Torsbury quest when we get there. Well, that's important, right? From the look of my map, I don't want to go and like find the smoking corpse of what's her name, Lady Luva's former lover. You know. So, yeah, okay. All right, fine. I'll go to Stoke first. I can always go back to Torsbury anyway. All right. Let us leave this cute, though highly overgrown little town. And I will head out and I will... Okay, all right. Which direction is Stoke? Yeah, that direction. I got my hat on, so we're okay. All right, I'm gonna see if she's gonna give us another Torsbury quest. We already have the Signet Ring quest to Torsbury, but let's see. Is that? Look at how the town of Stoke, looks like a thicket on the hill, right? The only trees. Practically the only trees for a goodly ways around. Oh, isn't there a stable? Yeah, that's true. I could stable master there, but it's not that far. Carry on needed some exercise. What can I say? Okay, all right. So let's we'll head up and see Frithild. Yeah, it's strange that like they have. What do they plant all these trees in town deliberately? And there are willows, too, on top of the hill. All right, let's see if we can hit the door. And go. Yes. Nailed it. Druid's Fire is wondering about my coming time away. And will it coincide with the 23rd? Yes, it will. In fact, the sad thing is that poor Gryfflet is going to miss 2 weeks. Because I've been saying in my other broadcast that I'm going to be missing the last week of April, which is perfectly true. But unfortunately, my family is leaving on the Friday before, on the 23rd. So I'm going to miss Gryfflet is going to be missing 2 weeks, sadly. Okay, let's see. Oh, good. Adguth, the primary, minister of the Reeve, is here. Adguth, what'd you find?
I found something. A dead body.
You found a dead body, huh? All right.
Return to sorrowful news. Wigbold has been murdered.
Okay. You say you found this map of Stoke on the body of a villain from Bareth Doram? Did I? Yes. Bareth Doram? I don't remember seeing that name before, but okay. I am not surprised. See these markings? Someone has made notes on this map, and though I cannot read the writing, I am familiar enough with my own walls to know that what these annotations represent. Vulnerabilities in our defenses. Your secret foe is seeking to improve the orcs' chances of raising Stoke. But you return to sorrowful news. Adguth found something and hastened to bring the news to me at once. Wigbald has been murdered. Speak to the child and hear her account. All right, Adguth.
Found a dead body. It was Wigbold. I remember his big red beard.
Okay. I was running around on the eastern side of town looking for that sour-faced fellow we talked about when I stumbled upon a body lying in the grass. I stayed just long enough to see if I knew who it was, and I did. It was Wigbald, one of the town guards. I remember his big red beard. He was always kind to me, and now I think that man you were looking for must have killed Wigbald before he fled the city. I can point out to you where I found his body if you like. I was just telling the Reeve about it, and she says that I did the right thing to come to her at once. You tell Adguth you will investigate the place you described, but you have your doubts. You do not remember Wigbald having a red beard. Boy, the spy is playing a dangerous game there. I mean, that was a bold and dangerous game. I mean, it's one thing. I mean, first of all, to come into a town of this size, murder one of the locals, and take his place, and attempt to fool everybody, like to keep everybody guessing what you're doing. I mean, it's possible to carry it on, right? I mean, it's not, I don't think, really plausible in a town of this size to kill somebody, replace him, and expect everybody not to notice that you're not him, right? But, theoretically, you could play the game where, to newcomers, you pretend that you're Wigbald. To others, you pretend that, Wigbald, you're, taking Wigbald's place for some reason. You're taking his shift or whatever. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but to do that with, a prominent person, like a gate guard, with whom there would presumably at times be other guards checking in, that's tricky. That's tricky. All right. So it's back over here. I can't get through that way. I have to go around this way. Can't get through that way. Boy, yeah. It was a well-hidden body. Okay. All right. Ah. Boy, that Adguth. Quite a sleuth. You cannot tell how long it has been since Wigbald was slain, but it seems he suffered a blow to the head from some heavy object. Dirt and mud on his clothes indicate that he was killed somewhere else and then dragged into the heavy grass. You stare down at the body of the slain guard. Something that has bothered you since you heard the news from Adguth slowly resolves itself. This is not the same Wigbald with whom you spoke when you arrived at Stoke. Who was it that you spoke to at the gate? Oh man, and no one else in the town noticed.
We have been deceived. The man we spoke to was not Wigbald.
He was our quarry instead. I believe I can piece together the tale, but it brings me no joy to do so. Our secret foe arrived at the gates of Stoke sometime during the night where he was challenged by Wigbald to identify himself. What name did he give? Perhaps Ednoth, or Goding, or another we do not yet know. What story did he weave for Wigbald, I cannot say, but my guess is that it played upon the guard's sympathies. From this I draw another conclusion. Our cunning foe must appear from the outside to be a good man of Rohan. Well, we know exactly what he appears like from the outside. We talked to him. There will be little about him to mark him as an enemy, or Wigbald would never have let him into Stoke. But let him in he did, and at some point Wigbald was overcome and slain. What does it reveal about our foe that he was so bold as to take Wigbald's place? I know, right? And speak falsehoods to the very people in pursuit of him. That is what worries me the most, Gryfflet. Our foe is bold, and he is cunning, and he is unafraid. It is clear to me now why he spoke of the Norcrofts, though it was not at the time. He was trying to steer us in the wrong direction. Yes, and a cunning deception it was, Corridon. We must give this news to the Reeve. Agreed. Even though it makes us look rather like fools. Okay. Hey there. Wait, where did I already miss the road? Hey there, Big Flounder. Good to see you. Welcome. Alright, whatever. I'm just going overland. There it is. Yeah. It's interesting. Like, when you come in from that other gate, like when I came in from the Oserley gate, it's like a straight shot straight up to the mead hall. But it's like hard to get to the mead hall from the south gate. I agree, Phil. That girl will go far. Adguth is like future Reeve material right there. All right. Big Flounder, you're in your first read-through of the Fellowship. Nice. And you just finished many meetings. Isn't it fun to see Bilbo and Frodo reunited? That's one of my favorite moments. Bilbo, he says when he sees him, right? And Big Flounder, did you notice that all of them, like even Elrond, right, especially Elrond, actually, seem to be completely pranking Frodo, right? Everyone's been hiding from him that Bilbo's there. Even when Frodo mentioned it on his bed, right, when he's waking up and talking to Gandalf there, right? And, he's like, dear Bilbo, I would want to see him more than anyone else. And Gandalf totally, strings him along and is like, oh, yes, but doesn't tell him that he's there, right? And he doesn't see him at dinner. And then Elrond is the one who springs the joke, right? Here is one that you have long missed, right? It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, exactly. Even when he's talking to Glowin, right? Glowin's in on the joke too, right? Glowin, he mentions Bilbo, and Glowin talks about Bilbo and doesn't spill the beans. Like, there's this huge conspiracy, just to prank Frodo, like to give him this pleasant surprise, right? And I think that it's awesome. I love that scene. And it wasn't really until we talked about it in Exploring the Lord of the Rings that I really fully processed, like, Elrond's own relationship with Bilbo. And, I totally think that it was Bilbo's idea, right? I absolutely think that Bilbo, because, you think about how Bilbo likes to have his little joke, right? I totally think, that was, Bilbo's initiative. And Elrond went along with Bilbo's joke, right? This whole friendly conspiracy. It's almost like when all of your friends conspire to throw you a surprise party. But imagine, Gandalf and Glorfindel and Elrond all conspiring at this, right? It's so cool. It's so much fun. Erecheb, you're right. Frodo is totally surrounded by conspiracies, right? He can't avoid it. I feel exactly. He's as kind as summer, or as it says in the first edition of The Hobbit, as kind as Christmas. Absolutely. And Autoflagellator, you're right. It doesn't seem out of character of the Tralalalali elves, right? To be down for a prank or two. yet another reason why I say, like, there are a lot of people who say, like, who don't like chapter 3 of The Hobbit, you know, with the Tra-la-la-lolly song, because they're like, oh, that's not what the elves are like, you know, like, that's not, you know, the elves, you know, like, the elves of the Lord of the Rings would never act like that. That is inconsistent. It's not inconsistent, actually, at all. They do act consistently that way. It is true that they don't always talk like that. And we don't see them singing tra-la-la-lolly songs. The emphasis is instead on, like, the Elbereth Gilthoniel song and such like that. But yeah, like, they are... that is just what they're like. I mean, you look at the conversation between Lindir and Bilbo after his song in the Hall of Fire. Sorry, that's a little spoiler. Well, it's not a huge spoiler. Big flounder. Bilbo's going to sing a song. But also, of course, especially the conversation between Gildor and Frodo in the Shire, and the tone is exactly the same as the unnamed elf, who speaks to Bilbo and Frodo and stuff. Who, by the way, like, in my head canon, that's Gildor, Inglorian. The one who greets them when they arrive at Rivendell in The Hobbit. You know, the "don't dip your beard in the foam, father" guy. That in my head, that's totally Gildor. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Phil's wondering what the prank situation is like over in Valinor. What is tempted to say? What else do they have to do? But yeah, absolutely. Phil says his own headcanon is that Mandos has the least expected sense of humor and catches everybody out from time to time. Yeah, I gotta think he's really good at the apt one-liner, right? Yeah. Oh, Tulkas has got to be a prankster, Erokeb. I mean, you almost have to think that, right? Tulkas is one of those people who would be, like, enormously pleased, like, laugh very loudly at very simple jests. Yeah. Edith, I'm not sure if Mandos has a hand buzzer and a squirty flower on his lapel. But that would be funny, right? No one would see it coming, right? Nobody would see it coming. Okay, anyway, sorry, Frithield, I apologize.
The man you pursue must be made to pay for his crimes.
Okay, this tale is believable, but it makes my sorrow no less. Indeed, it fans the flames of my anger. This man you pursue must be made to pay for his crime. He sought to send you to the Norcrofts. His pride will be his undoing, for by revealing his charade, we have discerned his next course. He wanted you to look eastward, turn your eyes westward, and you will find where next lead his schemes. After teaching the orcs of Barad Doram how best to attack Stoke, this cunning snake of yours fled the Broadacres. He has gone to the Stonedeans. Oh, man.
If this snake has entered the Stonedeans,
I have no close ties with my...
the danger he poses.
Right, yeah, they must, yeah. I have no close ties with my neighbors to the west, save the oaths we share, but I wish them no harm. Okay, a secret enemy combined with the dangers they already face endangers the whole of my riding. He must be stopped, and now only a few know his face. You have seen it, as has poor departed Wigbald. Bring this knowledge to Reeve Harrimond in the Stonedeans. His seat is in the town of Woodhurst. Located in the northern region of the Stonedeans, Harrimond is very old, and there are whispers that he has been in poor health of late. If he is indisposed, you should speak to his wife, Briant. She is of Dunlendish blood, but she is strong in her own right. Okay. All right. No worries, Holy Grail. So that finishes that up, but it's fine. We'll get to Torsbury, and then we'll come back. No worries. I was indifferent as to which one I did first anyway, but now she's sending us off to there, but she won't mind if we finish Torsbury first. All right. Off to Torsbury. Whoop, there we go. Hang on. Got some issues here. We're skating down the hill. Oh no, we're there we go. All right. Okay. Onward, carry on. Oh, weird. Sorry. I must have been hitting the wrong button when I was trying to stealth myself there. Whew! Put your hat on just in time. Okay, do I get to go to the ruins yet? I think I do. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, let's have a look at these Gondorian ruins. Because this looks like something. We haven't seen anything like this since, what's it called? What is it called? Over in, the Sutcrofts? Snowborn! Oh, snow something. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah. In fact, this looks even more prominent with its positioning and stuff. This, and more ruins down at the feet of it. Oh man. Oh, the town is right there? Like the town was in the midst of the ruins? Oh, that's fast. It's like Snowborn upside down. Right, in Snowborn you have this very large and very prominent Rohirric town with still the evidences of Gondorian ruins peeking out through it. Here you have this enormous Gondorian ruin with like a town like peeking in around it, and now apparently a charred wreck. No longer peeking quite so prominently as it used to be. So what was this? All right, we've got a large courtyard wall, but not particularly thick. So this might just have been, as I say, like a walled courtyard and not a major point of defense. Apparently Tordog was forced to retreat from Torsbury, for this is his encampment. Torsbury was overrun and the people have retreated south and east. I've discovered Tordog's camp. Okay, the guy whose signet that I had. So he just camps here. He doesn't have a town? I see a tower up there. Well, I'll have to see what's going on here. But anyway, all right, anyway, sorry. As I was saying. Courtyard, right. And then arch leading to Central Hall. What was this? Oh, he was forced to retreat down to here. Okay, well, he didn't retreat too far, did he? Okay, I'm following you now. Okay. Oh, there's Torfirth. Well, I guess I didn't find his smoking corpse after all. Okay. All right. Okay, now see, in here, inside what used to be the Gondorian Great Hall, we had, thank you, carry on. This was clearly like a 2-story hall. Look at that wall there, right? You can see the lower windows and what looks like an aperture for an upper window. So this was some kind of hall. So, hall. I keep coming back to courtyard and hall. Maybe this was some sort of I don't know, stabling? All right, where are we here? We're up here in the corner. Not helpful. Well, not as helpful as I would like. Sorry, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the map, and I'm imagining the map of Old Gondor, right? I'm imagining the map of what's it called? I'm getting so old. Blanking on the name. You know, Calenarthen. Goodness. Yeah, the name of the Gondorian province as was. Okay, so I'm imagining Calenarthen, right? So here we are in West Rohan, and how far are we from the Eaves of Fangorn? Fangorns are not appearing on this map, fine. So we're like up here, right? So Non-Kuranir is over here, and so I'm like thinking of things that we know were definitely and totally there. Parth Celebrant up here, which was and then we end the northern road. Parth Celebrant, not much in through here. We didn't see much in the way of Gondorian ruins up in Wildermore. We've seen a couple of the outposts. There was that tower here in East Rohan. There was Snowburn, which was clearly a town with towers and walls, right, down here along the coast. So if we think about it then, what we're kind of looking at is a progressive series of towns. A progressive series of towns from Gondor, right, kind of not exactly along the road. But we had Snowburn, we have this, and we have Non-Kuranir, right? We've got Isengard, and that would, Ungrenos, that would be clearly a major destination, right? Isengard was the sort of the watchtower on the western frontier of all of Gondor, right? I mean, guarding the Gap of Rohan and guarding and watching the Gap of Rohan. And that, of course, was maintained for a long time, of course, even after the Rohirrim came. Yeah, I mean, and this is a defensive position. Clearly. I mean, up on that hill like that. I say clearly, but what I don't see is walls. I have to look at that more closely. All right, I really want to do that, but let me turn in my quest, just in case he tells me to go up to Torsbury, and I have other quests I can be doing while I'm up there.
Our mission is dire.
Okay. This belongs to Luva, daughter of Gisling. But did she not wed Ordlak of Oserley? Yeah, she kind of did, man, but, this is awkward. Did you say she did not wed him out of love? Alas, that we should be torn apart for politics and alliances. I will treasure this. Oh, man. See, this is just what I was afraid of. See, he had, forgotten her. He's like, what? Who? Oh, yeah. And now, here I am fanning the flames of, adulterous and treasonous passion. This is just not good. I feel dirty. No, you should not speak harsh. You will treasure this and swear if Ordlak does not bring her joy, he shall feel the taste of my steel. Oh, yeah, great. Good work, Gryfflet. Totally shouldn't have finished that quest. Yikes. I wish they'd given me a choice. Just like to give her a stern talking to instead.
Our mission is dire.
Are you blind? Can you not see that we're in the midst of a war council? Are you? Wait, which one of us is blind, man? This is a war council? That one dude kneeling by the fire with his back to you? And that other guy way across the clearing looking like he's trying to avoid notice? Now, those three folks over there look like they might be having a conversation, but they didn't look like they invited you. Are you having a war council of your own? Maybe it's an allegorical war council, peopled by your own emotions and mental states, debating with each other. I think that's probably what he means. The Signet of Torsbury? That can only mean that Stoke is under siege. May Saruman the White burn forever in the fires he has kindled. Curse his mangy hide. Oh, strong language.
Our success depends upon our
Bah, Frithild will have to wait. I have lost Torsbury. Nay, I am not disloyal, whatever it may seem. I just know Frithild, she can hold fast without me. I should know. Look at my nose. She broke it herself. I know, it's all about the noses up here. I will attend to Stoke, do not worry. But first I must reclaim my town. I cannot bandy words any longer. My son, I'm not bandying words. My son Torferth is in charge of gathering information and fomenting trouble around the province. Right, we can use to form our counter-assault. Speak with him and help him as you may. The sooner Torsbury belongs to us, the sooner we can drive Saruman's lackeys back to Isengard. Okay. the real war council was the friends we made along the way. Okay. Yeah, so, and now I agree, like, Little Redhead 42, I'm not trying to say that that Ordlock is not a cad. Like, he totally is. Like, absolutely is. But, like, this is doing nobody any. So, yes, like, you know, he needs a good... He needs his nose broken, obviously. Like, you know, like, that should have been the quest. Gryfflets Quest should have been, like, go up to Ordlock and break his nose for him, and then give him a stern talking to about how to, you know, how to treat his wife properly. That should have been the quest. I'm just saying. I must ask your pardon for my father's harshness. He is a good man, but none too clever, and is embarrassed that he allowed Torsbury to fall. It's not really, I mean, I get it, the embarrassment thing, but still it seems a little bit like, oh yes, my, like, you know, my town has been overrun by orcs. How embarrassing. Seems a little odd, right? The Dunlendings came upon us silently, oh dear, and had already put the town to the torch before anyone could sound the alarm. It seemed like they came from nearly every direction and without warning. Now he plans to retake Torsbury and has put me in charge of gathering information. I may be young, only 18 summers, but I have seen my share of battles and know the habits of the orcs. I need you to ride out to Torsbury and through the fields to the south to learn what kinds of forces are arrayed against us. With that information, we can lay the best plan for our counter-assault. Determine the composition of the enemy's forces. That's all I got, huh? I guess it was too much to hope that my my quest would be like inspect the ruins on the hill. So I'm gonna. All right. Sorry, I cannot forbear any longer. I must inspect the ruins on the hill. All right, so the positioning of it looks very defensive, right? I mean, like up on the hill, but look at the look at the walls. There aren't any walls, right? That's wait, what did I determine? I'm like determining composition all over the place, and I'm just walking through an empty field. I was determining something about the architecture. Maybe that's the same thing, you know, metaphorically speaking. Maybe their enemy is really their ignorance about their own history. Probably not. Okay, look at this, look at this, look at this. There's like an unplinth here at the bottom. And then just a platform. This is not a ruined platform, like where the wall has been taken down. There was never any wall here. There was not a wall, there was a colonnade. Yeah. Yep. So it looks, from the outside, it looks like it could be, or I'm stuck. Help. Okay, going around the, boy, the charred ruins of Torsbury are really inconvenient. I like how it didn't even reveal to me what the composition was. Like, I'm on a need-to-know basis, apparently. Oh, there's like a torch sitting there. Seems like that'll probably be important later. Okay, I better keep going before somebody spots me. Okay, yeah. All right, these crude stone walls are apparently built by the Rohirrim. Is that guy I've got a name? No, he's a Dunlending captain. All right. Oh, look, I did a more determination of forces. What, though? What is that? A half-orc? Okay, there's a half-orc there, too. All right, anyway, so here's what I'm saying here. Look, yeah. Okay, there's why we have the unplinth. And by unplinth, right, what I mean is, of course, at the bottom of a very common feature is at the bottom of fortification walls, there are plinths. That is like a diagonal, like a row of diagonal blocks. And the idea is if you drop stuff off the walls during a siege, the stones will hit the angular part at the bottom of the wall and bounce outward through the oncoming folks, which is really handy. So usually you will see the bottom of a fortified wall. If it's not flat, it'll be angled outwards, right? And then here, like, it's angled, like it's undercut, which is really weird. But you see that it's just like it's built on top of this really like fancy like pediment here, this really fancy sort of walkway, and then this it's a colonnade. It's a colonnade. Probably had, what do we think? Did it have arches? Maybe a second. Maybe this was like a cloister. This road. I know. They probably looked nicer when it didn't have like dead cattle and men lying on it, but so I'm trying to ignore the corpses and imagine how it would have looked. Oh, hang on, what do we have here? Half orc scouts. Oh, okay. I'll dispatch the scouts if I have to. Many half orcs threatening the fields. Okay, you're finally letting me in on the secret of the composition, huh? Right, and then even here, like, no gate. There's no gate here. There were no arches. Yeah, statues. I agree. Very likely statues. Here. That's just what this looks like. Right? Like these walled, and then there might have been statues here. Maybe there were statues on the pillars. Ah. Maybe it was an open colonnade without arches or anything like that, and without like a cloister, but there was like little statues on the pillars, right? Huh? Yeah, I bet you there might have been. This was a fancy manor house. It wasn't a defensible place at all. Did I just sneak past somebody else who was sneaking? Yeah, see, look, there's his shadow. It's a Dunlending sneak. Fortunately, I'm sneakier than he is. Even though I'm carrying around this wandering spotlight. I keep making progress with determining their composition. Oh, yeah, we got wolves and the white hand banners. Poor burned out house and some dead horses. A corpse. Yep. Right. B4 says, they came from every direction, says the person who lives in a place with no doors. Yeah, I know. Like, well, of course they did. Turns out that your nice Gondorian ruin you built your town in the middle of was an undefensible death trap. Okay, so so you see the layout here, right? You have this whole lower level of the hill, which still, remember, looks really fancy, like, really prominent. You can see it for miles and miles around. I mean, look, there's Stoke right over there, right? That whole plain. You can see the colonnade with the statues on top, especially if the statues were painted bright colors, which they often would have been, maybe gilded or something like that, right? Would have looked, striking from the outside, right? But then you come up here and here's just this courtyard. The whole thing was just a big courtyard leading into the second level, also undefended by gates, until we get up here. And then we have more courtyard. Here's a tied up dude. All right, hang on. I'll probably set you free in a minute. Hang on. I'll be right back. I'm almost done. Right, and then maybe there were statues here, maybe not. It's hard to tell what with all the, burned out shell of what seems to have been their mead hall. I wonder what was originally here. Maybe a stable? Bet you it was, right? It looks like it would be, and that would be funny. Right. They come in here, and then this looks like it was probably a stable. Right. This is where you would park your carriage or whatever. You'd put your horses in, and then look, a legit wall. Right. And we're getting into like the actual building, and here it is, the sort of keep up on the hill. Except is it actually even a keep? Yeah, we got some more walls over there. So we finally have building constructed up here. Oh, the grounds on this place. Anyway, wouldn't that be kind of awesome, right? If the the men of Rohan built their mead hall on the site of the former Gondorian stable, isn't it kind of like fitting, you know, in its way? That would be fun. Okay, now in the middle of all of these grounds, we have an incredibly, it's like a Gondorian tiny house up here. Look how tiny this is. Now, this is the lower floor. I bet you they're doing this like whole tiered thing, right? I bet you they had a second story entry. I bet you they did. So I bet you when we're walking in on the ground level, we're walking into the like wine cellar here, is I bet you what we're doing, right? I mean, look at the evidence there. That was the floor, right, up above us. So yeah, we're totally standing in the basement right now. And then those were, look at these towering windows, right? Bet you they had some stained glass or something in there. I get a really small, narrow room though. But this was only part of it. I mean, it extends. Yeah, I mean, that was part of the same thing. So this was all one big ol'. See, that's a little more plinthy. Look at how it angles out that down there. But still really built for grandeur and not for defense. I still say. Look at the fancy carvings. The sunburst that suggests the connection to Minas Anor and the House of Anarian. Sure. Yeah, staring down at the roots of the grass. Not necessarily. There are enough columns for a statue of every Gondorian peasant at this point. Or just lots of statues of yourself. Is this a name, dude? It's Urig. Hi, Urig. Good to meet you. I'll probably be killing you soon, but in the meantime, I'm really enjoying looking at these ruins in which you find yourself. I hope you also have had the tour and enjoyed your brief time here, because it will doubtless be coming to an end relatively soon. Now, these corner pieces are really interesting. It almost looks like a buttress of some kind, but it's pointing the wrong way. So I can see, this suggests this is like fancy work, right? This is not defensive at all. This looks like part of some kind of like daring architectural, move on their part, like some kind of design scheme that was designed to look like stark and pointy and daring and eye-catching from a very long distance, don't you think? It's possible that the central tower could have been an initial point of defense, but I don't think these people were interested in defense at all. I think they were interested in grandeur and scale and striking effect. That's what I think. This is the most flash Gondorian ruin we have seen, I think, in all of Calenarthon. And this makes sense. Like, here they are off on the frontier, right? Talk about like big fish in a small pond, right? I mean, the Gondorian nobles. Darn it, Gryfflet, don't fall off the wall. I'm trying to get over here. Okay, there we go. Talk about big fish in a small pond, right? I mean, you move to not just to Calenarthon, the backwater of the Empire, but the backwater of Calenarthon, to be honest. I mean, like, this is the northern edge, like near Fangorn and the unpopulated mountains. I mean, you're kind of a suburb of Isengard, right? So you could kind of, maybe this is like the private home of the dude. I mean, Isengard is flash enough. Like, the warden of the tower would live there with his family. So this is somebody else, right? So somebody else comes out here and they're like, okay, and they just see the site and they're like, oh yes, nobody has claimed this, like, except those Dunlendings living over there, but we don't care about them. So, oh yes, like, I can do something with this hill, right? This hill in the middle of the plain with, oh yes, and they have these big ideas, right? And they make this whole huge compound. No, I can see it all. It's a monument to Gondorian arrogance at the height of their power. That's what I'm thinking. How did I manage to identify 80% of the composition of the enemy when I was so pointedly attempting to ignore the enemy? And again, apart from the fact that my attention was drawn to the half-orcs, I really was not even informed. Okay, so I love how the map thinks I'm outside of the town, but I'm actually inside of the town. Yeah, see, there it is. There's that striking archaeological gambit again, right? Yeah, they did that all over the place. This was probably a very sweeping vertical structure originally. Yeah, excuse me, Mr. Dunlending Beastmaster. I'm going to go, because my map suggests that if I keep going this way, I will discover some more composition. You're a half-orc archer. Are you part of the composition? I don't think you are. Okay, you're a goblin skirmisher. Are you part of the composition? Apparently not. Well, being almost utterly unaware of how I accomplished the other 80% of the quest, I don't really know. Okay, oh no, the purple is just the half-breed cavalry one. Oh, I have to go further south to find more composition, apparently. So they're composing south of here. It could be the governor's southern, like the warden of the tower's summer home. I was thinking about that. It does seem possible. Okay, is that? Oh, I determined the composition. I always seem to find the composition in the middle of the bushes. Okay. Oh, while patrolling the western fields, you discovered many goblin spearmen. You should drive off the goblin spearmen, burning and pillaging. I don't particularly want to do that, but if I've got to roam, okay, I drive right. Yeah, I was already going to do that. Okay, fine, I will. I can do that. Right. What's with the... Oh. Are there a bunch of half-breed cavalry in the town? Oh, no, it thinks it's not in the town. Right, because the map is confused. Torsbury not precisely to scale on the map. Okay. Okay. Stoke does sound like a very Hobbit town name. In fact, I mean, it reminds me very much of... What is the name of that town? Where is it? Hang on. Gotta find it now. Eriador, Shire, Stock. Of course, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, it sounds almost exactly like Stock, right? Yeah, yep, exactly. All right, I guess we'll just do this since we're here. Might as well bite the bullet. Unless... Now, it feels like we've gotten all of the mounted enemies. He's not going to send us after more mounted enemies, right? He wouldn't do that to us. Well, let's just check, just in case. A worst-case scenario, he's like, go and slay 12 mounted warriors. And then we'd have to do it again. And if there's anything more vexing than mounted combat, it's doing the mounted combat twice. Now, in the context of what we have now seen, boy, and how arrogant is it, right, to take this really defensible spot And instead of turning it into a fortress, you just turn it into a glamour palace, right? Really tells you something about the society, doesn't it? They were so secure in themselves. Okay, Torfirth.
What business have you with the
I don't know what the composition is, but I determined it. Absolutely did. They have a great array of warriors, apparently, though I'm on a need-to-know basis. But my news is not all bad. It appears that most of the enemy is comprised of wild Dunlendings, with whom we have much experience in battle, and half-orc raiders. If their only support is a small contingent of goblin wargriders, they should not be terribly difficult. Okay, they outnumber you like 8-1, but yeah. The news you bring me is grim, but I think there are measures we can take to even the battlefield a little. Share your report with my father, and advise him to send small forays against the enemy. How about, I am a pretty small foray, I admit. It may be that we can weaken their defenses before initiating a full counter-assault on Torsbury. Okay. And, what do you have for me over here? Herr Hassan.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
What is that? Did you not hear what I said? Massive it is. And I have seen it with my own eyes. I know, me too. I was just looking at it, but it's not a fortification after all. At least the shadow of it. Oh, there are terrible creatures roaming this land. Okay. In the Eastfold, down the farthest reaches of the Fen Marsh, dwells the great Fasted Takalon. No way! Fasted Takalon is down in Fen Marsh and I missed him? Oh man, a terrible beast. Fishermen make it off for a small island and it devours them. Oh, that's great. Of course it does. It's Fasted Takalon. Did they make tea? They probably made tea, didn't they? That was their mistake. In the northwest of the Stonedeans, there lies an ancient shrine built by the ancestors of the Dunlendings. It is rumored that a demon guards it still, a creature with great long fangs. In the south of the Westfold, it is said there dwells a terrible dragon, if you can believe it. Sure. Oh, man, I want to go back and see Fasted Takalon now. No one here believes me, but I know it's true. As you travel through fair Rohan, find these creatures and slay them, and then no one will call me mad again. Oh, man. The guardian of the shrine. Okay, oh, the demon guard, right? Great long fangs. The Fasted Takalon. And the dragon of the Westfold. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Herr Hassan, I am with you.
Depends upon our strength.
You saw the trees move? Yeah, I know all about that. There are other things in Fangorn as well, dark things with evil hearts. I have heard tell of winged creatures like women and walking skeletons. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. They are all gathering beneath the shadow of Mordor. No one believes me, of course. They all say I am mad. Go into that accursed wood and bring proof of the terrors within, and I will reward you as I may. Okay, evil things don't defeat neutral Huorns. Wow, this is Fasted Takalon. Did I read the red text? Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm good at not killing trees. You didn't say I had to preserve them, just not kill them myself. Of course. Of course Gryfflet can do that. Hey, look! Somebody else came to join in his war council. How kind. Who is this kindly... I know, it's Dudsig. There we go. Hey there, Dudsig. Oh, no, wait. This is bad, because Dudsig... I was suspicious of Dudsig, sadly. Oh, yeah, this is probably not good news. Oh, the other red text where it said it was a raid for 12 people? Oh, I know. I saw that, but... Come on. You can't worry about every little thing. Okay. Tordag. Torfirth believes we should make small forays against the enemy to weaken their defenses. While I can certainly see the value in such things, I believe a more direct approach would be better. Oh dear. Dudsig here agrees. He arrived shortly after you did. Did he? I have a task I think better suits your talents. I'm afraid I'm going to have to conspire with your son.
Rohirrim have need of your services.
I am more interested in knowing how strong the forces are at Torsbury itself. Oh. See, man, if you just told me to scout the gates, fine. I know just where they are. We can deal with the ranging foe later. I want you to enter Torsbury. I think I can do that. Test the strength of the enemy by defeat their they have no defenses. I mean, the place is utterly undefensible. And test the strength of the enemy by defeating some of their warriors. Okay. Scout the gates. Follow the road north and west, and you'll come upon the ruins of my town. Yeah, I'm familiar. Okay. I already have a pretty good sense of the situation there. And I have a pretty good sense of the situation here, I'm afraid. All right, Torfirth, you wanted me to do what again? What did he want me to do? Nothing? Hang on. What's going on here? Where are we? Broadacres? No, it's all of them. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, B4. It's like the good news is they're in a completely undefensible position, so they're vulnerable to you. The bad news is that was your place. You know, that was your city. So there was your problem right off. Okay. Okay, now I have some context. And so I am riding towards my Gondorian glamour palace, right? And I come, this would have been a courtyard, probably full of more statues. Right, a glamorous courtyard, big arched entrance into like some kind of welcome hall or something, right? Or maybe this was their stables are up on the hill. Maybe this is the servants' quarters. Maybe this is like where the gatekeeper lived, and they made it huge. Maybe it's it's a function center, right? You know, where they hold events. Yeah. It's a little strange because you wouldn't think this would be a grandiose welcoming spot because, like, you want to bring people through the full architectural effect, right? The full glamour and glory of the city on the hill. No, I'm going with servants' quarters. This is where the hoi polloi lived, right? This is where, yeah. I think that the Gondorian people who lived there were really snooty, and I think that most of the statues on those columns were of themselves. That's what I think. Okay, but what did, what's his face? The sketchy lover of Luva. What was his name? Torfirth. What was Torfirth's quest? He was like, now that we know their composition. Oh no, he just said talk to Dad. That was it. Darn it. I was hoping he would have a separate quest line so that I could attempt to forestall what was happening. All right, here's a goblin flanker. I'm hoping this guy counts. Whoa. What just happened there? I hit the very wrong button, apparently. Sorry, I lost my guy. Are you my guy? I can't even target anybody now. What's going on? Okay, oh, there are the buttons. All right. Come on, carry on. Let's get moving. Okay, carry on. See, there's your problem right there. Will this guy come over here? Oh, nice. I love it when they're so thoughtful as to do that. Yeah, this is really much better. Thank you, Warg Rider. Are all of them so courteous? Maybe they are. Let's see. Let's just experiment with this. These guys are probably not, right? These half-orc riders? Well, we can only try. Surprise! I bet you didn't expect to get attacked by a pedestrian hobbit. Yeah, you're not going to stand still. Fine. You're just going to go riding off into the distance, huh? No, not the cow. Now the cow's after me because I was accidentally hitting him. I have no quarrel with you, good Sir Cow. Man, that guy has serious beef with me now. He's never gonna let it go. A strange badge? Oh dear. Maybe this will initiate. Oh, come here. Stop being annoying. Okay, right. The goblin guys will come to me. Oh, look. Oh, the cow forgave me. That was very kind. All right. Okay. I'm so glad to hear it. All right, let's see. Okay, more cows. Looking for goblins. Yeah, so the half... Oh, there's one. All right, if I sneak up and stealth you. There we go. You'll stay put, right? Oh, no, no, come back, come back, come back. Don't wander off. There we go. No, no, no. Stay here. Okay, at least he just was walking slowly away rather than riding off. So that was good. Yeah, that guy's going to be trouble, though. Defeat Agur? Hi, are you Egger? Where's Egger? That is Egger! Okay, Egger. I'll defeat you. Come over here. All right, so, oh no, I lost Egger. There he is. Okay. All right, Egger. Okay. So, JJ, I saw that you had put a question in the queue, which is a great question, and I'm glad you raised it because I was kind of thinking about it on Tuesday, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I wasn't really sure that, like, we really had time for it. But it's a good question. So his question was, we were talking about the making of the Ring of Power, the One Ring, specifically, I mean, and come on. I hate it when they just run away. You're not doing anything. You're accomplishing literally nothing. Oh, mutual strikes. Okay, hang on. Will you stand still? Maybe you will. Oh, nice. You are. Oh, so the half-orc warriors will. How splendid. Okay. I defeated Agur, captain of the half-orc riders in the western part of the Broadacres. Hooray! Ooh, Broadacres gear. Great. What does this look like? Oh. It's inferior to Wormtongue's Mystery, which I'm currently wearing. Is it the fortified that I want? I think it's the fortified that I want, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Totally is. Still not as good, but more importantly, cosmetically, what does it look like? Let's see. Okay, so okay, right. I can't. Okay, sorry. Here's what I'm wearing. Okay, now it looks exactly the same. That's really quite disappointing. Okay, fine. There you go. I'll wear my Broadacres gear and no one will ever know. Okay. Sorry. So, anyway, I was explaining that is that a warrior? It is a warrior. Hey, come back here, warrior. Oh, we just went herring off. Hang on. Hey, you. Get over here. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Can I stun you on horseback? No, it's hard to know. You're already dead. Okay. And then there's another goblin I can fight on foot. This is splendid. Okay, sorry. So I was Celebrimbor. So the question was, as I said, we were talking about the making of the Ring of Power, and how Sauron poured himself into it, and about the ring being altogether evil. That's the passage we were discussing on Tuesday. And JJ's question: what, did he set me on fire? Wow! Oh, he's a defiler. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Yeah. So well, sadly, I only need one more half-orc warrior. JJ's question is, did Celebrimbor put part of his own power into the Elvish rings? In the way that... Oops. Went too far. In the Stonedeans now. Oh, only 3 towns over here, huh? Okay, sorry. Go back across the border. So did Celebrimbor put part of his own native power into the Elvish rings of power, like Sauron did with his rings of power? I'm inclined to say no. I mean, if he did, then I would say that, the Elvish rings were even sketchier than I thought, which is already pretty sketch. But yeah, I'm inclined to say not. I mean, certainly it's one of the reasons that Sauron had to do it was that, I mean, the Elvish rings have to be very powerful. But I don't think so. Why do I not think so? Why do I not think so? Let me try to explain. Let me try to figure out why I don't think so. I don't think so because it sounds really quaint and silly to just say, because that would be evil, and he wouldn't do that. I'm not saying I don't think Celebrimbor would do something shady. I think he might. His grandpa sure did. What I'm saying is, so it's not like the moral purity of Celebrimbor that I'm asserting. What I'm asserting is that if he did go wrong, I don't think it would be in that way. What Sauron does with the ring is it manifests itself differently, but it's in the same direction as what Morgoth did, right? Morgoth dispersed himself, like that whole technique of dispersing yourself among your, works, right? Among your creatures and your, research projects and whatnot. That was a very Morgoth move, right? And it really shows a turning point in Sauron's career. Therefore, would you get back here? You're just like wandering away. You're doing like neither one nor the other. Okay. Did I finish the... Oh, we've lost the Work Riders one. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. None of those were any good at all? Jerk. Jerks. Only the spearmen count? Arrgh. Okay. Fine. Anyway, it's so I'm gonna come to thinking in a moment about the actual hang on, I gotta be careful. The archers I don't need either. And I already got warriors. I need riders specifically. Riders and spearmen. Okay, there's a rider. It's the mechanism. It's the form that it takes that I'm really focused on here first. See, you're a defiler. I don't care about you, it turns out. Nope. Or you. Ah, stupid buttons. And there's Egger again. Oh, what a bloody waste of time. Hang on a second. As you were, people. As you were. Thank you. Okay. It's the mechanism. I'm focusing on the mechanism first. Right? Mechanism first. As I say, that impulse. That's a defiler. That's a warrior. That's a cow. That's a calf. That's a warrior. Nobody useful at all. There's Egger again. Another warrior. There's a rider. As long as I can do this without angering the cows. It's not that I don't think elves in general or Celebrimbor in particular couldn't or wouldn't go bad and do something shady. It's that I don't think they would go bad in that particular way. It's not like that's not their... Oh, you're a warrior. And thus a waste of my time. Yeah. It's not not the way that they would go bad. How do the elves go bad? The elves go bad in loving too much the work of their own hands, right? That's certainly one way in which the elves tend to go bad. But that pattern, like, we don't have any examples of any elf pulling the Morgoth, you know, like doing the Morgoth trick, you know, dispersing themselves to increase their own power in that way. It's not how they do it. And what's more, it's not how their craftsmanship works, right? You know, we put the thought of all that we love into all that we make, right? That's how elvish craftsmanship works. And that is, notice the difference there. Notice the key difference. They don't put their own power into things. They put the thought of the things that they love, of other things, right? They're more outwardly focused. They're related to the world differently. And it's true that somebody like Feanor can kind of turn inward. But again, it's a different kind of turning inward, right? It's a possessiveness. It's not a, like, I am going to, you know, attempt to dominate the wills of others. Like, did Feanor dominate the wills of others? Well, in some ways he sort of did. But he did that through his own, like, charisma, you know, not through sort of his power in that sense. Yeah, I don't see much evidence of Feanor putting forth his power in that way. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, it's just they operate differently from Morgoth in general and Sauron during the ring thing. Again, the ring plan, right? The ring plan for Sauron is like an almost desperate expedient, I think. Interesting. Autoflagellator says, I think Eol got the closest to going full Morgoth. Perhaps so. Perhaps so. And don't you get the impression, Autoflagellator, that with Eol, it was almost unconscious, right? I mean, like when Melian comments, if elves put the thought of all they love into all they make, Eol was like putting the thought of all that he hated into all that he made, right? It's still, I think, not exactly the same, though I agree that it's closer to the full Morgoth, closer than Celebrimbor would likely have done. Oh, hey, look, you spawned right next to me. That was convenient. And you're the last one I need. Fabulous. But yes, Edith, you're exactly right. Feanor wanted to create beautiful things and keep them to himself. He didn't want to take and destroy other people. Right, exactly. When he did destroy other people or like even dominate their wills, you know, through his charisma and persuasion, it was to get them, you know, to kind of, it was like to facilitate the other things that you were describing, like his getting things and keeping them to himself, right? It was only a means to an end. Not that that justifies it, obviously, but my point is it wasn't his goal. Whereas like with Sauron and Morgoth, dominating the wills of others was the end. Like that they should be master of other wills was their plan. That was the goal. That was their end point. It never was with Feanor. That's what I mean by saying it was different. So even with Feanor, it was different. You're right, Autoflagellator. The possessiveness of Eol is, but again, notice even the possessiveness, right? You will not keep what is mine. Like that his determination he'd rather kill his son than have him belong to somebody else or have him defy him, right? That's still like that tendency in which elves are. So if we take Eol and Feanor as two of the clearest examples of elves who have gone very wrong, right? The way that they go wrong is both of them towards possessiveness, right? Not sharing the beautiful and wonderful things that they have. Where are these stupid spearmen? South of here, I guess. Okay. All over the place, apparently, but down south. Yeah, so so as I say, to me, it does not seem a congenial. No, I've killed flankers and they didn't count. Who are you? Another rider? A defiler? Right, because you totally don't count, do you, defiler? Hold still for a moment, would you? No, you don't. Where are these putative spearmen? There's a rider. There's a warrior. Somebody already sacked the orc camp. That was nice. But like, yeah, all around here, in theory, there's these warg riders I'm meant to be concerned about. They seem to be a... It's not these flankers, you mean, is it? No. It's not. Defiler, cow, defiler, flanker, calf, warrior. What exactly the heck? I've never had this happen before. I just can't even find any one of the mobs. Cow, bull. A spearman! Look, I found one! Oh, hooray! Oh, who are you? You're probably a defiler. Okay, found one. What a relief. Okay. So that's the first thing that's troubling me about this idea. Again, it's not that I am perfectly willing to believe. In fact, I think it almost certain that Celebrimbor was going wrong, right? I mean, you know, that his... oh, man. Gotta do the thing again. Dismount. Hide. The badge of a great goblin captain. Hunt him down. Not tool, huh? Okay. He's up there, is he? A likely story. The alternative is to kill everything and hope some of what you want spawn in their place. I don't know. I think that's even more annoying than riding around randomly. Hunting them down individually. All right. Okay. So anyway, so you see my issue here? I don't think that Celebrimbor, not that he wouldn't go bad, but that he wouldn't go bad in that way. Again, the pattern is possessiveness. If he were making rings of power and then he were keeping them all to himself, you know, and like hoarding them and such, then okay, right? That I can easily believe. Would he put distribute his own native power like that in order to. I don't think so, because here's the other reason I don't. I put my finger on it. On the other reason why I am so doubtful that it's a precious spearman. Another reason why I'm so doubtful that Celebrimbor would be putting part of his spirit into the elvish rings. I don't think it would have the effect that he wanted. I really don't see any reason to believe that it would. I mean, perhaps, I suppose. Ooh, will you fight me on foot? Huh? Fight me on foot? Jerk. Not you. Oh, fine. Stupid goblin flanker. Have I mentioned how much I absolutely loathe quests where I have to go after mounted folks? I mean, it just, like, never ceases to be annoying. It's really hard to concentrate on my lore questions. Where'd he go? Where'd my spearman go? Now I've lost my spearman. I had a perfectly good spearman, half dead. And now he's gone. Oh, there's not Tool, at least. Arguably, I should have let myself heal first, but hey. Oh, there's a warband nearby, too. That's fun. Yeah, okay, so this wasn't well contrived. All right. Well, if Natul just keeps running away, I can throw knives at him from now until doomsday. Seriously, you're a goblin chieftain. I started with like only 10% of my health remaining, and I'm still beating you? Probably because you never actually attack? Ooh, will you fight me on foot? Fight me on foot? Come here. Come here. Jerk. Okay, fine. Oh, well. No, I won't mess with the warband. Alright, I'll heal this time before I go after Natul. In case you can't tell, I'm not real good at multitasking. Okay. I'll try again. Celebrimbor. So. What are the Elvish Rings of Powers for? What are they designed to do? The answer is preserve things unstained. He's trying to, you know, stop time, basically. As we see happening in Lothlorien and in Rivendell. And I'm going to go out on a limb and guess on the Grey Havens, though maybe not so much anymore. And again, like, how do you do that? Do you do that, like, do they have the power in them to accomplish that? I say no. I don't think they do. I think that in order to accomplish that, he would have to See, again, the pattern seems to me the same. In order to accomplish preserving things unstained, gotcha. In order to preserve things unstained, the power wouldn't come from him. The power would come from, like, the things, you know? It would be... cool. Great. It would be from outside, like they put the thought of all that they love into all that they do, and the rings of power amplify that, right? So what would be amplified would not be his own personal power. It would be like their love for the land, right? Their love for Middle-earth. Their connection to Middle-earth is what is like being amplified by the ring. That's how I would think it would function. Slight upgrade. Oh, sure, and you're just going to stand right next to me? But I'm sure that, let's see, control, left click. It's not working. I think it's my control key that the game doesn't like anymore. Oh well. Because I'm wearing them now, right? No, I'm not. Yep, they look exactly the same. Everything's the same. I guess I'll have to wait till I get, what, out of Western Rohan entirely before I get another set of cosmetics? Kind of sad. Alright. 5 more confusticated spear riders. I am undaunted. I am a completionist, and I remain undaunted. Okay, there's not tool. Defiler, defiler, calf, cow, defiler. Okay. So yeah, so I think, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it make sense that in order to accomplish what they want to accomplish with the Elvish rings, what they would need to be amplifying is the connection between themselves and Middle-earth. And the suggestion, I mean, if we can draw any conclusions from the... Oh, it's the warband. Hi, warband. Just passing you by. Thieves in the night. Ships in the night, that's what I meant. Thief in the night is something quite different. Yeah, so the evidence of what we see, there is only one place where we really see an Elvish ring at work in its native habitat, right? Technically, we do in Rivendell too, but we don't see it quite so starkly, I think, as we do in Lothlorien. With Galadriel, I think we are there seeing the full effect of the elf ring. I think she uses it more freely than Elrond does, to be honest. As would seem to sort of fit her character. All right, I'm going to go to the other side of Stoke. Maybe there are more spearmen and less other things. All right, never mind. I'm just going to go to the other side here. Okay. Yes, it does seem like Galadriel and Elrond have different visions of preservation. I agree. But yeah, so do we see evidence that there is more? I've struck a lode. Is there evidence that there is more, she's like amplified, as it were, her connection to Middle-earth? Absolutely, I think so. Look at the Malorns, right? I sang of leaves of gold, and leaves of gold there grew. Was her ability to so she's made Lothlorien, right? It's like the oh, you went too near to the town and now you're attempting to escape me? Now I can't attack you because you're in flight mode and you're healing? That is just exactly the most annoying thing. Yeah, anyway, so I think that her creation of, like, the elf lady dream palace of Lothlorien, the Dream Flower, right, is even the name, right? The Dream Flower. That's what Treebeard says Lothlorien means. It is like a dream palace, right, in a sense. Attacked by 2 spearmen at once. What a dream. So yeah, I think that we can see evidence of this. Is she asserting her own dominance over the land? Well, yes. I sang of leaves of gold, and leaves of gold there grew. The I, of course, is very important in that whole transaction. But again, she's not singing of herself. She's singing of leaves of gold, right? She's putting the thought of the things that she loves into the things that she makes. In this case, Lothlorien itself, the land, the kingdom, the whole region. So that does seem to be what gets amplified. Oh yeah, here, this is their native country over here. Why did it send me back over here? Good grief. So yeah, anyway, I'm loving this theory. So what then? So that's why I don't think Celebrimbor would have been helped, like it would have done any good to try to pour his own spirit in the same way, to like make the elvish rings into sort of quasi-phylacteries, in the same way that the One Ring was made into a phylactery for Sauron's spirit. I don't think it would, because again, it wouldn't work. It would not bring about the effect that he was that Celebrimbor was looking for. Now, is oops. Sorry, my phone rang, and so my computer like took me off onto the place where my phone was ringing, and therefore disconnected me from Lotro. So I'm going off in one direction here. Oh, yep, okay. Go back to the plains here, Gryfflet, where all the spearmen live. Oh, there's one. No, it's a flanker. Anyhow, so this is why I don't think that Celebrimbor poured himself in the same way into the 3 rings. So what would he have had to do? I think the power of the elvish rings comes from 2 things. It comes from... Oh, I'm loving this theory. Okay, hang on. Hear me out here. Oh, not that gang of thugs. I don't want to go anywhere near that gang of thugs. Who are they? Are they the Riders 4? No, they're brigands. So I guess too many spearmen can be a bad thing.
okay. All right. My theory. Here it is. Okay. Yes, the Elvish rings are, made by the very considerable power of Celebrimbor. He is a potent maker, and so therefore Sauron has to go to these extreme measures in order to master, to dominate his ring. But the primary power of them, like what makes the rings so potent, is that they contain the like extra potent love of Middle-earth. It is the extent, like their connection, their like bond to Middle-earth. Because here's why I love this. Look at who wields them, and look at who wields them most prominently of all, right? And I mean Galadriel. There is notice the correlation? There's a correlation between, let's see, was it this? Oh no, here it is. That's what I was looking for. I finally finished that pestilential quest. Making sure I'm not finding landscape quests, like drop quests. I hate those. Okay. So, yeah. Galadriel, the elven rings of power, not only embody the fantasies of all of the elves, who, like, they not only show like this secret passion of all the elves, they specifically are connected with the high elves who have remained behind in Middle-earth, right? Celebrimbor, Gil-galad, Elrond, Galadriel, Círdan also, and he's not one of the high elves technically, but anyway, like apart from him, right? It's mostly they originate in one of the high elves and in one of the Noldor, and they have remained in Middle-earth, right? Because of their connection. Why did they remain in Middle-earth? Right? Because they still had things they wanted to do here. Because of their tie, their connection, their bond to Middle-earth, which they did not want to relinquish. And so I am noticing here, therefore, a connection, right? When Galadriel resists the ring and therefore submits, because her resisting the ring is twofold, right? It's a double test. On the one hand, she has to resist the temptation of the power of the ring and to use that power. But at the same time, she also is giving up her own ring, giving up her elven ring as well, because she's going along with the quest, right? Like, it's okay. Go ahead, destroy the ring. She makes a big deal of this from the beginning, right? Your coming, she says to Frodo, is as the coming of doom, right? Either they're going to be overthrown or her ring is going to go away. It's decision time, right? And there's like the implied third option there, right? Frodo has come to Lothlorien with the ring. Either Sauron's ultimate victory is at hand if he catches the ring, or the ring will be destroyed and her elvish ring will also fade, or she stops him and takes the ring for herself, right? That's like the unspoken third possibility of what could happen now that Frodo has come, right? And she chooses not to do it. She refuses the ring, and therefore not only passes the test of refusing the one ring of power, but she also submits to the reduction of the power of her own ring. In other words, she relinquishes her hold on Middle-earth. And her conclusion, when she does this, I pass the test, I shall diminish and go into the west and remain Galadriel. She is at risk of losing herself, right? She wouldn't remain Galadriel if she didn't diminish and go into the west. But it's not just not being the Dark Queen, right? Yeah, that too. And that was a really big deal. But there's another element to it, right? She's also relinquishing Lothlorien. She's going to leave it after this, right? That particular kind of love, the particular like subspecies of love for Middle-earth that leads them not only to delight in things, but to hold on to them, to want to protect them, but to preserve them and to hold them in stasis, right? That's an unhealthy love. That is the elvish love twisted, not grotesquely, not hideously, but a little bit twisted. It's dangerous. It's not wholesome. It's not the way it's meant to be. And that's the kind of love that is amplified, that is embodied in the Elvish Rings, right? Yeah. Yeah. See what I mean? So this, JJ, are all the reasons why I don't believe that Celebrimbor was distilling his own spirit into the Elvish Rings in the same way that Sauron did. Because his own spirit wouldn't affect that. Sauron's spirit has the effect of dominating the wills of others, right? Which is what the One Ring's job is. But the Three Rings' job is premised not upon the power of the person who made them or of the wielder, but rather on the force of their love and connection. So that's where I'm going. That's what I'm going with this. So I know that took me a long time, almost as long as it took me to find 6 spearmen in these fields. But I was brainstorming there. I'd never really thought through that in that way, JJ. So I was doing that spontaneously there. And thanks for that question. That was really fun. Okay. With that, I'm out of time. I was about to go and do the gates, but I'll do the gates next time, I guess. Not to mention, Fastetocolon is right there. Fastetocolon! Oh, man. By the way, it took me a little while to figure it out, but that's totally how you pronounce that name. I don't know if you know the poem. Of course, there's the poem called Fastetocolon, is what that's based on, which is the poem about the giant turtle. It's like in the ocean, not in a swamp, not in a fen. I mean, a giant turtle in the fen, of course, makes me think of the Neverending Story. But anyway, Fastetocolon is the name of the giant turtle. I love that they've brought in Fastetocolon. I'm interested that they've put a proper noun in front of it and call it the Fastetocolon. But anyway, you can tell that that's how you're... It took me a while to figure out, like, how exactly you're supposed to... Like, where you put the stresses in the name Fastetocolon, but it's very clear that that's how it goes, because the meter of that poem is very insistent. And if you don't pronounce it Fastetocolon, then it doesn't scan in the lines, and it always scans right if you pronounce it that way. Anyway, I have to have it. I have to have it. Fastetocolon. I mean, absolutely. Fastetocolon. So, these quests seem like distractions. But I don't care. I'm going. We're doing it. Yeah, Fastetocolon right there. Oh my goodness. See, I was even thinking when we were down here questing in the fens just so recently, I was even thinking, like, I didn't go all the way to the tip of the land there. Oh man. Woo. Okay, yeah, so I guess I'm gonna need some help. Maybe we do that next week? So who's up there? We've got the... Stop the motion? What? Okay, testing their strength. Whose motion are we meant to be stopping? Oh, the motion of the moving trees. Right, okay. These are the 3 monsters. Oh, so one is quite close in the Stonedeans. All right. Well, we'll get to those when we get to those. Hang on. I'll get to the Stonedeans one when I get to it. Who's up there? Oh, this is the Huorn quest. Right. Great. Okay, that I can do right off. And that one's not a... It's only the monsters quests. That's a raid quest. This is just a regular solo quest. Okay, that's fine. All right. Excellent. Yeah. So next time we'll go to Fasted Taco. That'll be great. What I'll do is I'll finish up here at Torsbury first next time. I'll finish at Torsbury. I'll visit the Huorns, right? So I'll try to finish up this region. And then if I still have time next time, we'll head down to Fasted Taco. I guess I keep hitting the wrong button. They're the Stonedeans and down by Helm's Deep. So I'll wait until I get there sort of naturally to those regions. But since I've already done the Eastfold and since it's Fasted Taco, oh man, yeah, okay. So I'll send up the Gryfflet signal when I need help there for the monsters. By which I mean we can gather together a raid, right? And then you guys can fight them while I look around. That's how it works. It's teamwork, right? Yeah, and I still have more stuff for Stoke too. So yeah, so maybe we won't get to Fasted Taco until after. Maybe it won't be next time. Because I want to finish the thread, having practically lost the thread hunting spearmen most of the time. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Ivar Bloodhand was a big old softy, Druid's Fire. Remember that time when we were fighting Ivar Bloodhand and he wouldn't fight us? Like when we ran into like peaceful Ivar Bloodhand who had a change of heart? That was really fun. Okay. All right. So that's the plan. So maybe... Wait, hang on a second. Sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. How many Fridays do I have left? Gah! Only one! All right, we'll do Fasted Taco next time. We'll do Fasted Taco first. How about that? Because I don't want to... I can't... Can I wait like until May to meet Fasted Taco? I don't think so. So, okay, we'll do Fasted Taco first next time. So maybe we can meet up in Stoke or something like that. And we'll do that first, and then we'll finish up here because again, I'm sure we do have a bunch of quests still back in Stoke and stuff. So we'll not put it off. So Fasted Taco next time, and then we'll come back to Torsbury and polish things up. All right. Okay. That's a plan. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This was a lot of fun, and I will see you guys next week. I'll be away for 2 weeks after that, unfortunately. Well, it's not that unfortunate. I'm going on vacation with my family, which would be a lot of fun. But I will be sad not to be here with you guys. But see you guys next week for some giant turtle action. That'll be great fun. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye now. I need to find my mouse in order to... Where'd my mouse go? I can't turn off the stream if I can't find my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.